Out of thousands of entrants, 3 names were announced today as the lucky students invited to attend the World Peace Summit in Switzerland.
In 1994, at the absolute peak of Rangermania, 3 of the 6 most famous teenagers on television just vanished. Ridden off to a peace conference, one nobody ever showed us. Never explained, never mentioned again. There was no peace conference. There was a pay dispute, a corporate hardball play, and one of the strangest cover-ups in TV history. Half a season filmed with body doubles, recycled footage, 3 actors' voices imitated after they'd already left the building. You watched the cover-up. You were 8. Today you get the real story. This is what this channel is for. The true stories under the stuff we grew up on. Receipts and all, nothing invented. The truth was always wilder. Subscribe for more of it. Oh, and we're doing something a bit mad right now. 30 videos in 30 days, chasing 2,500 subscribers. If you want in on that ride, we genuinely love your support. To see the trick, you first need to know what the audience was never told. By 1994, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers wasn't a hit. It was an economy, top-rated kids show on the planet, merchandise doing numbers that embarrassed Hollywood films, and the Megazord Christmas craze was fact 14 in our 23 facts video. Live tours selling out arenas, 6 one actors carrying all of it. And those 6 actors, here's the load-bearing fact, receipted in our original cast video, were not in the actors' union. No residuals, no royalties. By multiple cast accounts over the years, wages sitting near the bottom of television's pay scale, while their faces moved $500 million of product. Now I'll be straight with you. Nobody has ever published those payslips. So I'm not going to hand you a figure and pretend it's solid. What I can tell you is the shape of the thing. Every lunchbox sold made money for everyone except the face on the lunchbox. Austin St. John, Jason, the leader, Walter Jones, Zack, Thuy Trang, Trini. 3 of the 6 decided to do something about it. They asked for union contracts and fair pay. And there's a specific moment where the whole thing detonated. It only came out properly in recent years, when the crew finally started talking. I want to be careful with this bit, because it's testimony rather than paperwork. But it's testimony from the people who were actually in the building. The show's stunt coordinator, Jeff Pruitt, and its head writer, Tony Oliver, both told this story on camera for a documentary about the franchise that aired in 2025. Their accounts match. Fox put on a presentation for its affiliate stations. That's the owners of the local channels, the people who physically put the show on air across America. Rupert Murdoch in the room, and the network wheeled out its golden asset to charm them, the Power Rangers, in person. The reason every one of those stations was printing money. Thuy Trang walked up to the microphone, and she went off script. Pruitt's memory is that she read out how badly Fox was paying them, and how much more the cast deserved. Oliver remembers it landing as something close to, maybe you should be up here giving us a show, because they were the ones delivering the ratings. The station owners, by Pruitt's description, just sat there, looking at each other, wondering what on earth they were watching. And then, she came off stage. Roughly 30 seconds later, she grabbed Pruitt and started crying. What did I do? Oh God, what did I do? She knew, instantly. And she was right. Pruitt also spells out the part of the ask that was never getting approved. The cast wanted a percentage of the toys. His verdict on that? Flat, no hedging. It was never, ever going to happen. Not because the money wasn't there. The money was absurd. It's that the model only worked if the faces stayed cheap. So the 3 of them had made themselves visible, which, in a machine like that one, is the dangerous thing to be. The production's answer was no. And not just no, the response as history records it was the nuclear option. The 3 were let go. At the height of the show's fame, the leader of the Power Rangers and 2 founding members were out. Not for a story reason, not for a scandal, because replacing them was cheaper than paying them. Think about that calculation from the company's side for a second, because it's brutally instructive. The suits were the stars. Helmets don't have faces. The fight footage came from Japan anyway, as we covered in the facts video. The bet was that 8-year-olds wouldn't notice a personnel change if the spandex stayed the same color. They were half right, and the way they ran the switch is the actual conspiracy. Because the 3 didn't just leave, they were made to disappear gradually, in plain sight, using techniques closer to special effects than storytelling. Here's what aired. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. For a stretch of season 2, Jason, Zack, and Trini appear in episodes their actors never filmed. The production stitched them in with recycled footage from earlier episodes, old shots of the three, recut into new stories. When the plot needed them present, but silent, doubles stood in, carefully framed from behind, at distance, faces obscured. And when they needed to speak, voice actors imitated them. New dialogue, performed by sound-alikes, dubbed over old or doubled footage. Kids across the world heard Jason's voice that season. It wasn't him. If you ever felt something slightly off about those episodes, the flat line reads, the weird staging where three characters kept standing facing away from camera, congratulations. Your 8-year-old brain detected a cover-up your adult brain forgot to prosecute. Watch that era back now, and it's surreal. A show performing a séance on 3 living actors, and it went on for months until the writers could organize an exit. A World Teen Peace Summit in Switzerland. The fictional off-ramp, we ranked number 4 in our Plot Holes video. 3 heroes of a weekly alien war reassigned to a conference. Never shown, never followed up. The narrative equivalent of, he went to live on a farm upstate. Now the aftermath, because every side of this paid something. The 3 actors walked into the wilderness. Austin became a paramedic, and his whole saga, including the courtroom years later, is in our first video. Walter kept working, kept his grace, and by his own accounts, never regretted standing up, only what it cost. Thuy kept acting until her life was cut short in 2001, and her story is told with the care it deserves in our memorial video. None of them got rich from the walkout. All of them got remembered for it. The replacements were blameless and brilliant, and the fandom sometimes forgets that. Steve Cardenas, Karen Ashley, Johnny Young Bosch, 3 young actors handed the hardest brief in television. Replaced beloved originals mid-flight, and they won the audience anyway. Their stories are in our Zio video. This channel holds both truths at once. The walkout was mishandled, and the new 3 earned every bit of love they got. And the production? Here's the twist history added. Conditions improved anyway. Later casts worked under better terms, and decades on, the franchise finally went union. The era of 6 kids carrying an empire for minimum wage ended, partly because 3 of them made it visible. They lost the negotiation and won the argument. The genuinely interesting question, how did a cover-up this clumsy work? Because it was 1994. No forums, no side-by-side comparison videos, no entertainment press that thought a kid's show was worth investigating. The audience was 8. The parents weren't watching closely. The trade press covered the business, not the continuity. The exact trick today's fandom would catch in a day, frame analyzed, hashtagged, apology demanded by the weekend, sailed past tens of millions of children, unchallenged, labeled observation, ours. This story could only have happened in the last era before the internet's watchmen showed up, which cuts both ways. Today's transparency would have protected those actors. Today's outrage machine would have burned the show down and everyone in it. What actually happened was quieter and stranger. The truth just waited 30 years for channels like this one to dig it up. Hello. We're the follow-up question. So, the peace conference. A lie the show told because the truth was a labor dispute. 3 actors erased with doubles and voice mimics for asking to be paid. A fictional summit in Switzerland doing the work of a severance agreement. And a fandom that grew up, found out, and sided with the teenagers. Again, like the show taught us to. Tribe verdict, and it's barely opinion at this point. Everything this channel stands for is in this one story. The machine treated the faces as replaceable. 30 years on, the machine's forgotten and the faces are legends, because the audience eventually finds out what really happened. To every creator being told right now that they're replaceable, Switzerland isn't real. Hold your line. Comments. Did you notice anything as a kid? The voices, the doubles, the weird framing. I want the memories of 8-year-old detectives who nearly cracked it. And the ethics question. Was the production's move defensible business? Or indefensible? Full stop. Argue properly. The full before and after of all 3 actors is in our original cast video. And the memorial video tells Thuy's story right. Both on your screen. Every view funds the follow-up questions. Right. That's the video. If you're new here, the deal on this channel is simple. Everything we say gets checked before it goes out. No invented drama, no cursed episode nonsense, no lying to you for a thumbnail. Just the stuff we actually grew up on, told properly, by someone who was there. We're doing 30 of these in 30 days at the minute, chasing 2,500 subscribers, and every single view counts more than you'd think. So if you've got a correction, or a memory from back then, put it in the comments. We read them. Half the ideas on this channel came from someone in there going, "Hang on, you missed one." And there's another video waiting on your screen right now. Go on then.